he was, like, he didn't know she was sending it.
I'm going to object to that part of the response that says this is how wanted to make it seem as if the state of mind would be known to this witness.
See if the witness can say exactly what was said.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Shepard, do you recall exactly what Mr. Brack said with regards to the video in your conversation?
When he answered, I was like, this is what we do, this how we get down, this how we do each other. And he was like, what you mean? Like, he didn't know what I was talking about. I'm like, so you just gonna have a girl send me a video of y'all having sex in my house? Like, this cool? And he like, I don't know why she did that. I knew she was recording, but I didn't know she was sending it in the text message.
Okay. Now, this phone number that sent you the text messages and sent you the media files, had you ever received contact from that number before?
No.
Afterwards, did you receive any contact from this number?
No.
And on December 7th, you had no idea who this person was?
No.
Now, I don't want you to guess, but do you know how this person got your cell phone number?
I do not know for sure, but...
Okay, that's all I want you to say then. After your conversation with Mr. Brack about the videos, did you go back to work?
Yeah,
Continue working?
Yeah, yes.
How long did you work that day?
8 hours.
Okay, what time did you get off?
11 p.m.
Where'd you go after you got off from work?
East side of Detroit.
And you live on the west side?
Yes.
Now, was that a planned trip, or was that based on the videos you received?
It was the videos I received. I was mad, so I wasn't about to go home.
Okay. And how long did you remain on the east side?
To the wee hours of the morning.
Do you eventually go back home?
Yes, ma'am.
So this would be the wee hours of Tuesday morning, December 8th?
Mm-hmm.
You have
yes.
to say
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what do you do when you get home?
Well, me and my girlfriend was drinking, so I just fell asleep in my driveway. Max woke me up the next morning.
Okay, so you slept in your driveway?
Yes.
Now, do you ever confront Mr. Brack further about those videos you received?
Not immediately, no.
So you said not immediately. When's the next time you bring up the videos?
He had came over. It was late. Later on that week, it was late, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and he was asking me to screenshot the messages to him so he could send them to her sister so she could see the date of the messages.
Now, Ms. Shepard, do you know either the date that this interaction occurred, or do you know the day of the week this interaction occurred?
Which interaction? Between him and Kajavia?
When he's asking you to screenshot the video, what day is he asking you to do that?
It was late Friday, so I guess y'all would consider it like early Saturday morning.
Okay. Now, December 7th was a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
You're sick.
Yes.
Yes. And you're saying that this is the next time you talk about the video is on early hours of, well, late Friday, early Saturday?
Yes, because I asked him, so is that who was in the video?
Okay. You never asked him any time in between?
No, we weren't really talking.
Were you still living together?
No, his stuff was gone by that time.
Okay. But he was there on December 12th asking you to send screenshots?
Yes.
And did you do that?
Yes.
Okay. And what you asked him, I'm sorry, did you say, so is this the girl? What was the question you asked?
I asked him, was that the girl in the video?
And what did Mr. Brack say?
Yes.
And was there any continued conversation after that?
No, he left.
So he just came over for that brief period and then left?
Yes.
Now, on December 12th, did you work or were you at home?
I worked that day.
Now, I want to go back to December 11th, which was that Friday of that week. Were you working that day?
No, I was off that Friday because it was my weekend to work.
Okay. And were you at home?
Yes.
Did you stay home all day, all afternoon, and all night?
No, I left. It was late in the evening, like 6 or 7 I had left.
And what time did you get home?
Late night, early morning.
So was it Friday night or was it Saturday morning?
It was like Saturday morning.
Okay. And it was that same Saturday morning that Mr. Brack was asking you about the screenshots?
Yes.
In December 2015, what kind of phone did Mr. Brack have?
Mr. Bragg had, it was like an Android, a little regular Android.
Not a Galaxy or anything?
No fancy phone, no.
Okay. Now, December 12th, did anything happen on that day?
What weekday was that? Saturday?
That would be that Saturday.
I don't know. I was at work.
Okay. Now, did you have any subsequent conversations with the defendant about Ms. Globe being missing?
That Saturday?
Well, I'm just asking if you had any. I'll ask you what date as a follow-up question.
He told me some period of time of that week that she was missing, but it was too early to file a missing person report, and that he was going with her family the next day to do the report.
Do you know what day you had this conversation?
I want to say Wednesday, maybe. I don't know why Wednesday coming to me.
Okay, well,
I want to say like a Wednesday or Thursday. I know it was sometime before he asked me about the video.
It was before he asked you about the video?
I mean, not before he asked me to screenshot so she could see the date.
Okay. So, before the day that he asked you to do the screenshots, he has a conversation with you about Ms. Globe being missing, and he's going to go with her family to do a missing persons report?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you feel about that conversation?
Okay.
Did you want to participate in that conversation?
No.
Why not?
I just didn't feel, with the text messages and everything, I was just upset, so I didn't want to talk about him and none of his other females. Like, that wasn't something I wanted to engage in.
Okay. Did you ever have any other conversations about Ms. Globe being missing with Mr. Brack?
I want to say it was Sunday night. We had a couple of drinks. I had came home early from work that day because I wasn't feeling well, and we ended up having some drinks. He had liquor, so I was drinking with him, and he was just saying, like, this not like her. She usually communicate with something is wrong.
Now, is this a conversation that you initiated or Mr. Brack initiated?
He initiated.
And did you participate in that conversation?
I cut that conversation very short.
How'd you do that?
I asked him why he felt like he could talk to me about this, like, after everything. Why would you talk to me about this?
Now, were you home on December 14th, 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And were you on Fielding when the police arrived and found the dumpster across the street from them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And there's a fair amount of police there, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Earlier in that day, was Mr. Brack at the Fielding house?
Yes. I had fell asleep on the couch. He fell asleep on the floor. And that morning, I remember, like, my door slammed if you don't got it shut. So that Monday, I just kept hearing the door slam. And I'm like, stop slamming the door. And he's like, well, I'm about to go. I was like, okay. Lock the door behind you. And he left, and I went back to sleep.
Okay, do you recall, was this like one slam, two slams, or was it just
it was like
in
3
and
or
out?
4, like in and out.
Okay. Now, at the time that the police arrived and they basically had the crime scene, they were investigating the crime scene, was Mr. Brack on Fielding?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I mean, was he in your home on Fielding?
No.
Okay. Did you have a conversation with him after the police located the scene?
Yes.
Was this by phone or in person?
Phone.
Okay. Did you call him or did he call you?
He called me.
And what did you tell him?
I told him that the block was flooded. It was police. They was all across the street at the vacant house, and I think they found the body in the garbage can because I heard them wheel out a garbage can, and the body van is at the house.
Okay, and what did Mr. Brack say?
I bet they did.
Was there any conversation after that?
He told me that he was gonna pull up.
Did he ever show up?
No.
And did you and Mr. Brack ever have a conversation about him moving out of your house?
Yes.
When did you guys have that conversation?
It was before my birthday. Like, it was in September, because my birthday early October. It was before my birthday.
So it was in September 2015?
Yes.
And when did he actually move out of your house?
He eventually did, yeah.
And when was that?
Well, he started to move stuff out, but some other stuff had came up. So when he got done handling that, he came and got the rest of his stuff.
And so when did he find?
What month?
November.
Okay.
When did he finally move out?
November.
Not December?
Not December. Well, the week after Thanksgiving. So I guess the end of November, early December.
Do you recall telling the police, specifically Officer Crosby, that he moved the last of his stuff out on December 12th?
He came and got his last bag. It was like little comforters and shoes, I think.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Read it, Ray.
Crosby. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
You said you knew Max Brack for a couple of years, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Where'd you guys first meet?
He was coming home from jail, and his uncle asked me if it was okay if he could bring his nephew to my house. I told him yes.
And his nephew would have been, and that's the first time you met Max?
Yes.
And the uncle is somebody you knew?
Yes.
You had a good relationship with the uncle?
Yes, many years.
Many years.
Many years.
What was his name, or what is his name?
I know his name is Black.
So, you're introduced to Max, and you start up a relationship with him at some point in time?
Some point, not immediately.
Not immediately. Did you date before you began a relationship?
Yes, but that wasn't immediately. That was time later, like almost a year later after meeting him.
A year later being when?
The year of 2014.
Sometime in 2014?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the month?
No.
Yes.
No. Lawyers don't allow these answers. If the witness gives that answer, ask them yes or no. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Max moved into the home you were staying at, and that was at 18532, right?
It was on Fielding Street, yes.
18532 Fielding.
Yes.
Okay. You had been living there for some time.
Yes.
Max and you lived there for a while.
Yes.
You had a sexual relationship with Max.
Yes.
A loving relationship with Max?
Yes.
You cared for Max deeply?
Yes.
And he cared for you?
I say so, yes.
You partied together, drank together?
Yes.
Smoked a blunt? Smoked some marijuana from time to time with Max?
Yes.
Yes. Came a point in time that Max was arrested.
Which time?
When he was gone in October, November
Yes.
2015. Did you communicate with him while he was gone?
Yes.
He got out and came back to you?
Yes, he came to get the remainder of his stuff. He told me that he was working something out on moving as far as where he was going.
But he was still staying with you?
He had spent nights at my house.
I'm sorry?
He had spent some nights, not every night.
Not every night. He would be there and then he might not be there, right?
Fair to say, yes.
Okay. Did you know that he saw other women?
No.
Did you ever have sex with Max at your house with a third woman?
Is that relevant?
Yeah,
It's a question.
Object. The witness is right. How is that relevant?
I don't see the relevance of it.
It's relevant because of the nature of the relationship that Max had, what it meant to this witness,
I
how
don't
they
see the
were...
relevance of the issue here at this trial. That's what I don't see.
It shows...
How does it tie into what happened in this that we're here for?
Because all of these things create the context of the relationship between Max, Emily Shepard, and...
Not the deceased.
all right.
I sustain the objection. Okay. The jury is to disregard the question and the answer.
Did you know Ashley Garrett?
Yes, I knew Ashley.
Did you know her well?
I knew Ashley. I didn't know, I can't tell you nothing too much about her.
She was at your house?
Yep.
Oh. Spent time with you and Max at your house?
She'll come over. We'll have drinks.
December 7th, you worked that day, correct?
Yes, sir.
And time card shows you worked from 2:58 in the afternoon till 11 in the evening. Does that sound like what your hours were?
Those are my hours.
Yes. You were at work and you received a call, something on your cell phone, right?
Text message.
Text message. And what was the contents of that?
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. But it wasn't Max's number that came from.
No, it's a 248 number that I did not recognize.
All right. And you saw, is that the text message? Is that the message where you saw the sex act?
No, that's a separate text message.
That was a separate text message.
Yes.
What time did that get to you?
I can't recall the exact timing.
But you were at work at the time.
Yes.
And you said you shared it with some people. Did you share that text message, that hey girl text message, with anybody?
My coworker was standing next to me. We were charting, doing some documentations at the time that I received it.
So that was available to somebody else. Somebody else saw it as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
And after that, you received the sex video.
No, I received a picture of my living room.
Ah, picture of the living room was the next thing you got. And was that disturbing to you?
No, because he cleaned up, actually.
He was, Max, a neat freak. Would it be fair to say that? Kept the
No,
house neat?
not a neat freak, but he cleaned up that particular day.
And that day is December 7th.
Yes.
The house seemed to have a lot of plastic material around it. Is that stuff from your work, plastic bagging and that sort of thing?
I keep plastic on my windows in the winter. I use plastic bags as garbage bags, so yes, there's plastic around my house.
A good deal of it.
Yes.
As well as plastic gloves, work gloves. You had those things around your house.
Yes.
A number of pairs.
Yes.
What did you use those for? What were they? Yeah, what did you use those for?
Well, I usually get my nails done when you use bleach, it take the polish off. So I use them when I clean. But I bring them home from work because they just be in my pocket, like excess stuff from work.
There's a hand truck in the basement. What was that there for?
It's a hand truck in the basement?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't really go in my basement.
Is that where the dog hung out?
When there was company in the house, yes.
Dog do his business in the basement sometimes?
Sometimes when he don't go outside, yes.
And the basement got pretty dirty with that sort of hair and dog poop, for want of a better word?
Well, for the dog hair, dog shed, so I could imagine dog hair. And dog poop, yes. Sometimes I work 16, 18, 21 hours, so I'm not there sometimes to take them out 2-3 times a day.
The basement had a lot of what fiber material we've talked about, fiber fill. Do you know what that was all about, or where that came from?
I don't know what fiber material you're talking about.
Did you have some flooding or some water in the basement that caused damage down there?
The washing machine might have went over. That's the only thing I could think of with water. My basement don't flood.
But okay, so you had you may have had some flooding from your washing machine or some water from your washing machine. Move ahead to Sunday, December 13th. Remember Sunday, December 13th?
Yes.
Okay. You were home, right?
Up until about 2.
Up until about 2. In the morning of Sunday, December 13th, Max was up early cleaning and filling up the dumpsters. Is that right?
I don't know what Max was doing.
Was he there?
Was he there?
He was there.
Okay.
Do you know what time he was up?
He was up before me. I know he left maybe 11 or 12.
Left 11 or 12. So before that, he was there.
Yes.
Did you see him taking... How many trash bins did you have at your house that you were using?
2.
One belonged to your house, is that correct?
Yes.
The other one was from the burnt-out house next door to you?
Yes.
Okay. And if there was an unusual amount of trash and debris, and those are big containers, could you take both of them out? I don't mean you personally, but could both of those trash containers be set out in front of the house?
9 times out of 10, both the containers usually do be out. One closer to their driveway and one closer to mine.
They wouldn't pick up 2 in front. The trash collecting people wouldn't pick up 2 in front of one house.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yes.
But sometimes it was kept at a different house. One of the trash containers was kept at a different house.
If we put out both the containers,
yes,
one would be closer to the neighbor's driveway, and the other would be closer to mine. They won't pick them up if they're like right next to each other. So we kept them distant.
2 of them at one house they won't pick up.
Well, they both was in front of my house.
Not really what she
If she knows it. I'm asking if she knows
If she
it.
knows it, we need a foundation for her knowledge.
Sometimes did you ever put a trash container, was a trash container put across the street at that boarded up house, the yellow house?
Not often, no.
But it did happen sometimes.
Very seldom.
Did you see Max do that on Sunday?
I was asleep. Max woke me up when he was leaving. I don't know what Max was doing.
When Max left on Sunday, he left with Ashley Garrett in a black Cadillac, is that right?
Yes.
And you say he left about 11:30.
Somewhere between 11 and 12. It was early afternoon.
And he was going out with another lady that afternoon.
I don't know where he was going. I know that's who picked him up.
That's who picked him up. And you don't know where he went, right?
Correct.
And you didn't see him again on that day. Is that right?
On Sunday?
Yes.
I seen him when I got home.
What time would that have been?
Somewhere between 9:45 and 10 o'clock p.m.
On Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. Going back to 12/7, when you got the sex selfie, as I call it, or the sex video.
Yes.
Could you tell how the camera was being held, or who the camera was being held by?
It was being held by the young lady.
Was being held by the young lady,
Yes.
over at her shoulder?
It was like up in the air, catching a good angle. I don't know how to describe it. She was holding it.
Max was behind her.
Yes.
You could see Max's face.
Yes.
You could see the lady.
Yes.
Shocking. Was it surprising to you, or did it not upset you?
It was entertaining.
You found it entertaining.
Yes.
You weren't going to give anybody the benefit of the doubt of letting them know that that might have been disturbing to you.
It wasn't disturbing. I found it very funny.
How come?
Because I felt like that was Max trying to get my attention, and whoever the young lady was, just, I guess, was like to help him out. I don't know. It didn't faze me. It did not make me upset. Me and Max wasn't dealing with each other for real at the time, so I just felt like he was trying to get my attention.
When you say Max and you weren't dealing with each other for real, in other words, this was a transition period. He was moving out, and you guys were kind of getting over whatever relationship you had.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. Max was still at your home, though, on part of the time between 12/7 Monday, when that video came, and toward the end of the week.
He'd stop by every now and again, yes.
Okay. Spent time there.
Yes.
Partied a little bit during that week.
Usually if he came by, that's what it was for us to party.
And you did?
Yes.
Even though there was that video?
Yes.
Still had, if I can say it this way, still had something for Max. Still felt something for Max.
I mean, if he came to the door and was like, do you want a drink? I'd be like, sure.
Okay. You were cool with that?
Right.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Did you ever meet Kajavia Globe?
I met her one time a few years ago at like a social event.
Was Max present?
Yes.
Max have a close relationship with that girl, with Kajavia?
From my knowledge, I was always told they was married.
You thought they were married?
That's what I was told.
Okay. Do you know who told you that?
Everybody.
You knew people in common?
Yes, we had common friends.
Yeah. Wednesday of that week, 12/9, December 9th. What were you doing that day?
That's my off day, so I don't know. I was probably hanging out.
Hanging out at your house?
Probably, more than likely, yes.
Max around?
Max came over, yes.
What's the relevance of December 9th?
Trying to characterize the amount of time that Max spent at that house, what he was doing, and what it appeared
Well, what's the relevance of prior to December 11th. The testimony has been that the last time Ms. Globe was seen was December 11th. So why are we dealing with December 9th? It doesn't seem to be an issue, December 9th.
Well, it shows Max's behavior with respect to this woman and the other women he was with. It affects his state.
I think we've established that well enough.
Okay.
Let's move it to December 11th through December 14th.
December 11th is Friday, right?
I assume so, yes.
Okay. You saw Max that day?
Friday, yes, I seen Max Friday.
He was staying at Fielding?
No, actually he told me he was at a room.
He was what?
At a room, a hotel, motel.
Do you know where?
No.
On December, did you ever see the silver Benz that Kajavia drove?
Yes, but that was during the summertime.
She drove a silver Benz?
Well, I found out later, I put two and two together that was her. It was in the summertime. She had pulled up in front of the house and he went outside and he came back with some socks or something. And I asked him who it was, and he said it was a family member or something. But later on, after time has passed, I overheard him talking to his nana about her having a silver Benz.
Did you see Max on December 11th, on Friday?
Yes, it was earlier that day.
Earlier in the day. About what time?
Morning time, 10, 11, 12.
How did he appear to you?
Like,
as usual? Was there anything out of the ordinary about Max when you saw
ever
him?
since the whole Kajavia coming up missing, he seemed just like frantic about it. He kept saying it's not like her, and he's nervous because he thinks something happened to her. That's all he kept saying to me.
It was not like...
on December 11th?
That Friday?
December 11th, the Friday?
Yep. Because he told me Saturday, one of them days, I think it was Saturday, he told me that it was too early. Her family was saying it was too early for them to do a police report or something. So they had to wait the full 24 hours or something. And that he was going down there with them. And that's what he told me.
What time was this on December 11th that you had that conversation?
It was 10, 11, 12.
At night?
Like, no, it was like evening time, like morning time.
In the morning?
Yeah.
If she didn't come up missing till later in the day...
I was getting my information from him.
Wait till he finishes his question.
How would you have had a conversation about that before?
Because that's what he told me. I didn't Google it or nothing until she was found across the street. I was getting all my information from him.
Witness, you're not listening to the question. The question is, and repeat it again, Mr. Whiteman, and wait until he finishes the question, and then answer his question, not something else, just his question. All right, go on.
12:11, Max leaves at some point in time, correct? And he leaves with Ashley in the black car.
Yes.
You don't know where he goes.
Correct.
He's gone for the day.
Correct.
He doesn't come home in the evening of 12:11. He doesn't come back to 18532. Correct?
Correct.
Early Saturday morning, in the wee hours of Saturday morning, do you hear from Max?
It was like 2:30 in the morning, and he pulled up to my house, and he asked me to send the screenshots from that Monday so he could show the sister that was the last day he was with her.
In other words, December 7th, Monday, was the last day.
Yes.
And that's when the video was taken.
Yes.
He stayed at the house how long?
Long enough to have a conversation on the phone with the sister, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
And people were looking for Kajavia at that point.
I'm assuming her family was.
Max, appear to you to be concerned about Kajavia's welfare and whereabouts?
Yes, sir.
Anything give you any idea that Max knew of her whereabouts?
Not really. He just...
Nothing?
No. He was just very, frankly, nervous. He just kept saying this isn't like her.
This isn't like her.
Right.
Where is she?
Right. Yes.
He didn't seem to know.
He didn't seem to know.
He didn't seem to be faking, did he?
He seemed concerned to me. At the time, I thought he was.
You thought he was concerned, legitimately concerned, about the whereabouts of an old friend of his, actually, Kajavia Globe, right?
Yes.
Then after that early Saturday morning, he left again?
Yes, he came over early. He was there for a while. I was in bed, then he left again. Yes, he told me he was leaving.
Did you see the car he left in? Was that the black car?
Yes.
Know where he was going? The black Cadillac.
I did not ask him.
Okay. But he came back again sometime during that day,
on Saturday. I don't remember if he came back Saturday. I remember seeing him at my house Sunday.
Did he spend the night of Saturday night over until Sunday with you?
I don't recall. I don't know. I don't remember.
Did you guys get together again Saturday or Sunday? Kick back?
I know we
Was he at her house?
Yes. Yes.
On Saturday night, I don't remember. I don't know.
Was he at your house on Sunday morning, the 13th?
Sunday morning? Yes, he was.
Sometimes the
Do
garbage...
you remember when he got there?
I don't think he spent the night Sunday because he came over early Sunday. That's what I'm saying.
Sunday morning.
He came over early Sunday. It was early. It was real early.
Did you ever see Max go into the yard of the vacant house across the street from your house on Sunday, anytime?
I didn't get out. I didn't get up until...
That's a yes or no
No,
question.
no. I was... No.
Okay. As far as your house is concerned, 18532, did it ever look to you after December 11th, December 12th, December 13th, December 14th, during that spread of time, like any violence occurred at your house?
Not at my house, no.
As far as you're concerned, there was no evidence of any violence occurring in your house between two people, is there?
No.
And certainly you weren't involved in any of that, anything.
No.
On Monday, when the police showed up in the neighborhood, how did they get to you? Do you know how they got to your house?
The police was there twice, so which time are you talking about?
Police were there twice. When was the first time?
The first time, I was leaving to go to the market, and they was parked, like, right at the end of my driveway. Both the doors was open, and it was two officers, like, looking
About
in the
what
trash
time
can.
was it? About what time?
Like 3:30, 4 p.m. Mm-hmm.
That's the first time?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
And what was the second time?
When they was
The
taping
time.
off.
The time.
Oh, it was dark outside. I don't recall the time.
Was it between 6 and 8 p.m., 8 and 10 p.m.? Around what time?
I don't, 8, 9, I don't know. It was dark.
And then what happened at that time when they came by when it was dark? Did they ask to go into your house?
That's when it was the crime scene. They was on the block taping it off. That's when second time I seen the police on my street.
And what did they do when they come into your house?
Eventually they did, yes.
You gave them permission?
Yes.
Nothing to hide as far as you were concerned, was there?
Nothing at all.
And they went into your house and they did what?
They searched it.
You weren't concerned that there was anything in there that was
Not at all.
troublesome to you?
I gave them all the space and I gave them all access.
And you saw nothing in that house that gave you concern that something wrong happened there?
No.
Were you surprised when the police showed up at your house?
Well, I was kind of watching the news a little. I had the news going, so I heard, what was going on the news. I knew.
Were you surprised that the police showed up at your house?
No, because Kajavia and Max had a relationship, and Max at one point stayed with me, so.
Okay.
2 and 2 together.
Right.
They came over to talk to you, right?
Yes.
After, there come a time that you, looking at social media and whatnot, saw people saying, Mac's responsible for this. Do you have that in mind?
Objection, Your Honor.
Yeah, rephrase it.
Was there a point in time that you became aware, looking at social media, that people were making accusations about Max Brack?
Objection, Your Honor. What's the relevance of what other people are saying to have to do with this witness?
Has much to do with what folks in the neighborhood concluded in putting 2 and 2 together. His name and perhaps even his
Well, she said
face.
that when the police came to her house, she she developed some thoughts about it. So, was the social media before the police came to her house? We need to ask more pointed questions.
The social media about Kajavia Globe was not available to you, or you didn't see anything like that before the police came to your house, or did you?
I didn't look for anything until after the body was found.
Until after the body was found. And after the body was found, then it was all over the social media, wasn't it?
Yes.
And bad things were being said about Max Brack.
Bad things are being said, not just about Max, but it was
Bad things.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of commotion in the neighborhood, on the street, fielding, people talking about what was going on?
No.
Did you talk to anybody in the neighborhood about it?
I don't talk to people in my neighborhood.
Was that yes or no?
No.
Okay.
Max said he was going with the family, Kajavia's family, to make a police report?
That's what I was told, yes.
By Max?
Yes.
Appear to you we wanted to get to the bottom of it?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Yes.
Did he make a statement to the police, if you know?
He told me he spoke to the police and gave a statement.
That was
You
as...
don't know, you don't know if he made a statement.
I don't know, no.
Okay.
When's the last time you saw Max?
It was like maybe a couple weeks after all this was going on.
One moment, Your Honor. On Monday, December 14th, you folks had both been,
Who's the you folks?
you and Max, at home, drinking,
Yes.
fell asleep on the couch?
I fell asleep on the couch. He fell asleep on the floor.
Okay. Still permitted and still staying there at your house?
He
Mr.
was there
Brack.
that night.
Yes. Do you know where he was moving out to? Do you have
He-
any idea?
He wouldn't tell
It's
me.
not relevant. It's not relevant.
I have no more questions. Thank you.
All right, we have a jury sitting in the jury room.
All right, for jury.
Tell me nothing.
We have a lawyer.
You may be seated. No. Yeah, just take it. Oh.
You can sit.